by Jason William Lee on Amazon Co. UK. Tom walked to the rain on his face, and for a moment he wasn't sure where he was, but then he remembered the cobblestones and he wiped the dust from his mouth. Immediately his hand was covered with blood, his lip was burning, and he felt dizzy and disorientated. He struggled to his feet like a blind man. He straightened his clothes and then realized that Jack, his poor dog, was missing, and then he heard a whimper, but couldn't see him anywhere. Then he realized that maybe he was on the other side of the wall. He didn't understand how poor Jack could have got there, but he knew he had to see. He scaled the wall with great difficulty, his feet slipping on the hard surface. Somehow he managed to pull himself over and he dropped to the other side. He looked left and he looked right. And then he saw Jack. He was licking his paw and sitting on a dustbin lid. He didn't look happy. And Tom couldn't blame him. Hello, viewers. He leapt into Tom's arms, and when he got close, he noticed Jack was shaking and his little paw was red. But luckily, apart from that, he seemed okay. He was just in shock like himself. Tom decided to walk back to the church. He was tired and his stomach hurt, and the last thing he wanted was to bump into his attacker again. He had to get cleaned up, as he knew he looked a sorry sight with blood on his face and mud on his clothes. He hobbled all the way back with Jack in his arms. He ignored the puzzled looks on the people passing by. He was feeling angry, and although not violent, he wished that he could enact some kind of revenge. He was angry at the world. He wasn't sure how much more he could take. Chapter 48. Paul Helps. When Paul saw the state of him, he ushered him into the church, and he leaned to his bloody nose and mouth, tended to his bloody nose and mouth. Tom was glad nothing was broken. He told Paul the full story, and it was difficult for Tom not to cry. Jack sat there with a blanket over him, and his tail was wagging again, which was a good sign. Tom took the coffee in his hand, and he slipped it slowly with shaking hands. This can't go on, Paul said angrily. You've come home with me, he added. Tom was too tired to argue. Hello, viewers. He was in need of a break from reality. He wasn't proud enough to look a gift horse in the mouth. It would be nice to give Jack a break too, he thought kindly. Paul had a big plush house around the corner from the church, and they set off. Just turning this page. And Tom began to feel hopeful again. He was looking forward to watching TV and sitting on a comfy sofa for the first time in ages. Jack had regained his bounce and ran round on the carpet, unused to such comfort. He knocked his ball over in the commotion, and no one seemed to mind. Tom stood in the hot shower, and he let the water rush down his face and massage his back. His body was red and bruised. But he didn't care, as the water washed his shame away. Once it seemed so long ago, when he'd shared a shower with his wife, and he had come down the stairs looking and smelling like a king. He felt like he was walking on feathers, as he had to get so used to the hard streets and the cold pavements. He flopped onto the sofa, and it was so comfy, it was hard not to nod off. Paul brought him a meal on a tray. It was shepherd's pie and vegetables, one of his favourites, steaming hot and delicious. He ate it slowly, devouring every mouthful. Jack had the same, and he lapped at the gravy like fine wine. It was so funny. Hope you enjoyed that, viewers. I'll be back later. Very tired.